Hi guys, it's Nancy here and I'm back with another process video for my Hey Little Magpie blog post this month, and I am using a mixture of supplies, but for my backgrounds I am using the Simple Stories Basics. And the great thing about these is they have a wood grain one side, and then on the other, either in white or cream, they have lines, graph paper, check paper. So it's a really good thing. It reminds me very much of the old basic grey basics. Can you remember those from like a few years back? I love those. So yes, anyway, before I digress, I'm going to be scrapping these two photos. These are 4x4 and these are from my birthday, as I'm doing all my birthday layouts for this blog post. I decided to put out this stencil. This is one of my favourite stencils actually, and this is a Balzers Designs one. And I'm just adding a little bit of ink to the background, and I'm just using some ink from my stash, which I believe is Stamping Up. So I know vaguely where my photos are going to go, so I'm just using that to just put some inking around it. And as I said, I'm overlapping that slightly as well, but most of this is going to get covered up, as it normally does. So if you've watched my previous video, you'll know that I'm using two different collections here. There's the My Mind's Eye Happy Camper, and then I'm using Simple Stories Life in Colour Snap Pack. And the Snap Pack is to go with their Snap albums, which have an assortment of card sizes and also a few die cuts as well. So I'm just using my favourite Route 66 and also some teal mists just to add on that. And I'm also going to put a little bit of golden, I think, rather than yellow. Might be yellow, I don't know, can't really see. So yes, I'm just going to leave that to dry, and then I've mounted my photos up on some of the paper from the 6x6 paper pads, and I also have an assortment of the cards that I'm going to use. So these are the two photos, and I'm just going to overlap them slightly. They're just some sort of funny shots that we took. And the great thing about these cards is actually they have patterns on the back, and these are two different size cards, but they kind of match with the patterns. So I'm just sort of playing around lining them up there. I want to use this title card which says hello, this is our life, and kind of use that almost as a title piece. And so I'm just trying to work out where I can put that, as I said. But again, it's got that really nice wood grain, but also all the colours that are in the collection. And they work pretty well, actually, with that My Mind's Eye Happy Camper. So I'm just playing around my placement here, as I do quite often. I don't plan my layouts too much. And this can result in lots of fiddling around. Pulling layers up, putting things down, pulling them up again. But I'm okay with that. So I ended up sprinkling that turquoise polka dot round, turquoise and black polka dot, just to frame the different photos. I then cut this heart out from one of the 4x4s, and I'm going to use a negative of that as well, just because I thought it was a little bit of fun. And I'm also going to tuck a bit in there. So again, I like just trying to use up these little bits I cut off, because otherwise they just sit on my desk and you never use them. So that's got a little bit of print on it. So again, I'm just going to bring that around in 3 different places, because I also have it in the heart. And so yes, I do like the cards and that. And so the sizes that there is in there, it does mean that you've got enough to kind of like mount photos on and use for layers. I mean, and this is a 2 photo layout, and I still managed to, you know, have enough bits and pieces. Bear in mind, I don't have anything other than the 6x6 paper pad, so everything else is smaller than the 6x6 paper pad. So now I'm just going through the die cuts that come with the Snap collection, Life in Colour. I do apologise that my camera's angled slightly different here and you can't see the bottom of the layout. What I am doing is I have a couple of labels there that I'm just layering up also with those star pieces, and I'm going to use this camera, which is from the My Mind's Eye, and I think I was just rubbing it on my sleeve to take some of the sticky off it. But I really like how that camera looks. It's got kind of a tribal-esque sort of design in, which is going to be picked up in the paper I'm mounting the whole layout in, but also the tones of these photos as well. So, as I said, I'm really surprised how well these two collections go together, even though they're not made by the same manufacturer. Because you know that most of American crafts papers go together, even if they're by different designers, they have the same sort of colour palette. So I'm just playing around with all these different sticker bits and seeing if there's any of those I can add to it. There's this date piece, which again is just picking up a little bit of red, so I'm adding that in. I was trying to use some of these happy labels. I really love these little sticker books they now do with the My Mind's Eye collections. They're just like perfect, like little additions. So here I'm just looking through little 4x4 cards, seeing if I want to add any of those in. As I said, they're a great little thing because they're the right size that you can use for embellishments and layers. I decided to put that little teal piece in here, and again that's going to bring the wood grain down to the bottom as well. So I'm just going to stamp my date in the top there, and then really that's about it for this layout. So I'm going to just cover my pictures up and just sprinkle a little bit more mist around. I'm going to be using a white sort of pearlized one, and the teal, and then I'm going to mount it up on a piece of paper which is from my stash. It's an older piece of paper, I'm not sure where it's from. And mount it up on there, and again that is just going to pull everything together. So thank you very much guys for watching. I'll be back with a couple more videos for you this week, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye.